What's going on, guys? And in this video I'm going to show you how you can get that Daft Punk style talkbox or vocoder sound effect with your own vocal or any vocal of your choice. So it'll be hard to replicate it exactly like they did because they used a real talkbox, but I think you can get pretty close. So here is what I'm about to show you how to make.
Come and take this Daft from me, please. Come and take this Daft from me. Come and take this Daft from me, please. Come and take from me.
So one thing to note is that when I first made this, I made the beat and bass line first, like this. So the next thing I did was I created a little vocal melody, as you can see up here on top. And this was pretty much just any words that came to my head. These words mean absolutely nothing, but they just kind of fill up the space of what needed to be. But the first thing I did was I created a melody just on top of it. So on top of that bass line, I created a melody with this serum right here. So the reason I did that is because I wanted to have an idea of the melody I wanted to sing before I could get the words down. Now, I'm no professional singer by any means or like lyric writer, but I think this got the job done and it gets the point across of how to actually make this. So after that, I recorded these vocals.
Come and take this life from me, please. Come and take this life from me. Come and take this life from me, please. Come and life from me.
And it doesn't matter if it's in pitch or anything like that because we're going to be using a vocoder, which we'll be using, I'll open up right here. We'll be using a vocodex. And this is the stock vocoder inside of FL Studio. And the main thing here is we're going to be routing a synth to it and then also a vocal. And there's a couple of things that you guys need to pay attention here that it can get kind of complicated, so I'll go step by step. So the first thing that you need to do is create these two synths, or any synths that you want. So the first two synths sound like this. This is a serum preset that I watched a video guy named Rocket Powered Sound. I recommend you guys go watch that video. He talked about how to make this kind of lead. I'll link the video below in the description, and I'll also link these two presets down below too, so you guys can play around with this. So I made this, which is a cool preset in itself. It's just these wavetables, and then the main effect is the filter here, giving us the like talkbox effect. Then underneath of that, I just made a little saw wave, little detuned saw waves, just to give it some support, which I added this later. But what I did now was I put these into a synth bus. So these have their own synth bus, and I have the vocal in the vocal bus. And then after that, what you have to do is inside of vocodex, you can go in here. Then in this mod section, if you right-click here, first we need to do is sidechain the vocals to here. So right-click on the vocoder, then go to sidechain to this track, this little arrow down here. Right-click on that arrow, and you can disconnect it from going to the master. So then do that for the synth as well. Sidechain to this track, then you can disconnect it. Now we have the options to put it inside the vocoder. So right-click on the mod, which you can, if you forget, there's a little reminder here that these are like the lips or like the vocal. So you can do the vocal there, and then you can see a little keyboard here. So that's where the synth goes. And now you have this melody playing underneath the vocal. And so what the melody is doing is it's playing the melody of what I tried to sing, but it doesn't matter because it's going through that synth, so it doesn't really matter if you're on key or not. So now if I play just the melody, nothing's going to play because it's going to the vocoder. And the same thing for the vocal. But when we play them together, we get the effect. And I'll also disengage some of these effects I have over here. So next, we can tweak these settings inside of vocodex. Now, I went ahead and I made this preset called Daft. It's actually nothing crazy. I just pretty much mess with the band's distribution and also played around with this knob over here to give it some sort of different effect. And I recommend that you guys do this for yourself and try to get a unique sound to yourself of what can sound really cool. And I also forgot to mention on that vocal itself, if I route this back to the master so we can listen to it, I put a little manipulator on it. Well, not a little one. I put a manipulator on it. And I just have it down for 4 formant shifts here.
Come and take this life from me, please. Come and take.
Just to make it a little dirtier and then to give it like a dirty vibe. Because if we put it inside the vocoder, you can hear that now if we have it in here, it'll sound too high if we don't go down the semitones with it.
Come and take this laugh from me, please. Come and take this laugh from me. Come and take this laugh from me, please. Come and take from me.
So this can really depend on your own voice as well as how deep or how high it is. So just kind of play around with that formant shifting. And then the one thing after that is what I did was I added these effects to it just to make it a little cleaner. So here I just did a couple dippings because it got kind of like pretty muddy in these areas.
Come and take this laugh from me, please. Come and
Just kind of knocking down some of these,
come and take.
some of those. Then I added an RC20 as well. And what this really did was just made it really dirty and kind of like wobbly.
Come and take this laugh from me, please. Come and take this laugh from me.
Just some distortion and the wobble effect in RC20. Then after that, just some compression to tame the highs a little bit.
Come and take this laugh from me, please. Come and take this laugh from me.
And then pretty much I have another bus over here of this lead, and it's just doing more subtractive EQing, just taking away some things. And then just I automated a wobble effect in there as well. And then some reverb, and then just some sidechain. And a cool thing you could do is kind of chop up the melody or the vocal that you made, chop it up a few different ways. So you can make vocal chops of kind of what the whole melody is. And say we just kind of take this out, then maybe repeat this. You can get a whole different vibe of just how it sounds. So if we do this,
Come and take this thing, please. Come and take this thing, please. Come and take this.
you could literally do anything because it doesn't matter the melody of the vocal. All that matters is the melody of the vocoder of this down here. So this is the only melody that matters. And you can also change this up as well. If we wanted to go something like this, I don't know, just change anything.
Come and take this thing, please. Come and take this laugh from me.
You can do anything that you absolutely want, and that's why this is so much fun to do. So that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know. I tried not to make like a super cringy beat. I know it sounds like a little weird, but I just want to get the vocal across of what it was and how you guys can get a similar sound. So if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know down below, and I will see you guys again in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.